Hey everybody, welcome to another Glimesh board meeting. We're going to talk about stuff. Take it away, clone.
All right, welcome everyone. Banjack's gonna stop playing the guitar now. Thanks, Banjax. That was Banjax and Paco. Oh fuck! I didn't switch screens. Oh, probably shouldn't cuss. Only minutes in the video. All right, well there we go. Welcome everyone. It's gonna be a little weird because my camera's over here, but I look over here. So, my bad. Here, let me move chat. That'll fix it.
You think we'd know how to do this by now?
Okay, now we're good. Now I can look over here and read over here. Yeah, I don't want to keep it family friendly necessarily, but I also don't want to cuss like literally 1 minute into the YouTube video. You know, the 1 minute everyone watches, they're like, oh, this guy's a loser. All right.
You want them to get 5 minutes in before
yeah.
they realize that we're losers.
Well, by that time they skip ahead, and you skip the 5 minutes anyway. So
yeah, perfect.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the what month? March. The March board meeting. That is the wrong time. Oh, there we go.
It's also the January and February board meeting, right?
Yeah. So we missed a couple of the things that we normally do. Just a couple of the board meetings. That's definitely all on me. Last one we had was December. So we're just gonna kind of recap, both periods of time. Now there is going to be some stuff missing from this board meeting. I just want to kind of get everyone ready for that in advance. I'm going to move the microphone real quick to closer to me. All right, so there's going to be some stuff missing as far as like metrics goes, but we'll talk about them when we get there. And as always, for anyone who's new, for anyone who is unfamiliar, this is our board meeting. We do this every month. In order to share everything about us. So we're what's called an open company, which means that we publish everything. Like, we work in the open, so you can see what we do, you can see how we do it. We publish everything like our finances, our planning, our strategy, everything like that. Of course, when it comes to user privacy or your data, we don't share that, but everything else that's us as the business, we do share. It's hard to find venues to share it. Sometimes the tools we use are private. But we want the data itself to be public. So the board meetings are ways of kind of sharing that with the community, with everyone who supports us, or anyone who's curious about us also. And they're also a great opportunity to ask any kind of questions or push some ideas our way or anything you may want to do. So it's a great time to connect with everyone. If you have questions as we go along that are not immediately relevant to what we're talking about, I ask that you just hold on to them until the end of the stream, or maybe put them in Discord and we can kind of answer them when it makes sense. I'm not going to interrupt to answer an unrelated question just because I want to keep us on track. So with that in mind, we do have our Discord open. You can come chat in there. We've got our chat open here. If you do chat in Discord and or on Glimesh, just as a reminder, your audio, video, text is being streamed to Glimesh right now, and we're going to record it and publish it to YouTube as well. I'm going to check to make sure that I did actually record, and we are recording, so we are good to go. So I'm not going to read this verbatim, but I'm going to use it as like a reminder as I talk. It'll be here for your reference, so you can read along in case you miss anything, and then it'll also be kind of the contents of our blog post. So I'm going to kind of cover that, and I'm going to go off on tangents, and then we'll get back to it. Whoa. Oh, I already spoiled it. Whatever. Who cares? Don't read ahead. So, welcome to our first board meeting of 2022. I don't know what happened to 2021. If anyone can find it, anyone knows where it is, please let the Time Authority know, because I have no remembrance of it. But I do know that we launched 1 year ago to this day exactly. 1 year and... Hold on, Paco.
No.
We launched 1 year and something like 8 hours ago, or 10 hours ago, I think. It was at like 10 in the morning. Woo! Q.
Good.
Okay, all right. So we did launch a year ago, so that's super exciting. We've been around now officially for a year. There's a couple different birthdays we have. There's like the conception. Uh, there's the actual birthing. There's a couple different birthdays that we can possibly celebrate, but this one is like our launch date. This one means a lot to a lot of people, and it also has some like scar tissue, that's kind of healing over of when we launched, and then immediately had tons of issues. But for a streaming site that we built in our hobby time, that we released as a volunteer organization, that we made as like mortal humans, I think we did pretty good. It's also been a crazy year. We've had our ups and downs. We've launched a ton of features. We've met a ton of new people. We've raised a lot of money for charity. We've helped people kind of find a new home. We've helped people find other homes. So I'm really happy with where we've been and kind of what we've made of ourselves so far. And we talked kind of last meeting about how I was full time on Glimesh personally for a little while. I had to go back to work though. I had to go start doing stuff again to continue making money. And so development was going to slow down. And in December's board meeting, we talked about how my time was starting to free up. I had a lot more time available to me. I wasn't doing as many volunteer things, so I had plenty of time. And actually, this year so far, we've been working really hard on two of our main features. The first one being the mobile app. We want to launch that, and then RTMP. Kind of stream stability, RTMP, stuff like that. We've been talking about those for months. If you're curious about those, we can dive into that a little bit later. But that's been our primary focus this year so far. Okay, sorry, I just thought I was muted that whole time. We also, have been testing the mobile app. And the mobile app right now is available on iOS and Android for our testers. It's currently being privately tested just because there's a lot of bugs and we want to make sure it's working well. But it is available for both. And we have about 150 testers currently using the app, trying it out, breaking things and reporting things. And so we have been fixing it and doing kind of regular releases. A lot of people in this chat right now are actually using the mobile app. And so that's super exciting. So one of the things that we're going to announce tonight is that we're going to launch it for real, for everyone. The mobile app is not perfect, it's not finished, it's not done, but we think that it's really, really good. You can do all the core functionality on it. You can find streams, watch them, interact with them, follow them, find them again later. You can check in on things, make sure everything's going okay. It's totally usable. And there's a lot more features we could add, like subscriptions and notifications and donations and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, let's just release it now and then release those features as we go. At least now you'd be able to download it on your phone, watch it on the go, and then if a new feature comes out, boom, you got a new feature. That's very much kind of how we operate anyway. I don't like holding things back. We release early and then we iterate on them. One of the great things about the mobile app is we'll be able to release it. People will try it, and then maybe we'll prioritize certain features over others. Some people have been asking for like a chat-only mode or audio-only mode while they're driving. All sorts of stuff that kind of we don't necessarily know about until we launch it and ask you, hey, how's it going? So we're going to be launching the mobile app for a general release, which is, I say general release because I don't want to set expectations that this is a fully polished, decades in work mobile app, but it's a great mobile app, and we're going to launch it on March 22nd. I'm hoping with both fingers that iOS and Android are able to publish it. I think I've set up Apple to publish it on that date. Android doesn't have that option, so I'll submit it about 3 days before, and then I think they'll automatically make it available. So just keep aware. Sometime around that time, they'll both be available for everyone to use. There are chances that they could hold it, that there could be an issue with the App Store, but since we don't do anything financially, I'm not worried about that yet. Um, so as a reminder, the mobile app currently has most of your main functionality. You can watch FTL streams, you can chat, you can browse categories, you can browse your following, you can view profiles, and you can chat. Some of the things that we're missing that you may be used to having. We're missing mod tools. We're missing subscriptions, so you can't subscribe from the app. We're missing donations. Those two features are really caught up on how to do payments on mobile, which is caught up on how do we avoid, paying Apple 30% of our cut, because then we would only have a 10% cut. So, and then, things like editing your profile, that would be missing as well. It's going to be hard. We're unlikely to have feature parity between the website and the mobile app. It's more likely that the mobile app will be, a really great tool for interacting with streams. But if you need to edit your profile, for example, you'd probably need to use the website. Now we may add that one day, definitely. But there's some CRUD features that you may want. Some like bolding text and stuff like that you may want that may not be available. So we hope to get everything major in. We hope to get all the things that you'd really want, but it won't be fully encompassing.
The view count is also missing on mobile, just so people know.
Yeah, the view count is missing. We're going to sneak a couple of features in, hopefully before launch. View count's kind of one of the more ridiculous ones, because it's easy for the website to keep track of view count, but the updating that constantly in the client, we just have to be careful with. The follow button is available, so you can follow people on mobile. You can click follow. You can unfollow people if you want to do that as well. So that's kind of our first announcement. We are going to be releasing the mobile app. I'm super excited for it. Sorry, stretch. And I hope that everyone will download it, give it a try, give us feedback, and let us know if there's anything missing or anything we need to fix. Additionally, we've also been making major improvements to the FTL streaming section. One of the roadmap items for this current phase is that we were making improvements to the video, video infrastructure, video technology, all that kind of stuff. And we said that kind of generically because we didn't want to tighten ourselves into one solution. We were going pretty hard on our RTMP when all of a sudden we were able to get Nax working very well, and then Nax came out, and it's not like RTP is not going to happen now, but suddenly FTL streaming worked really well for a lot of people, and so this kind of huge need to have this thing fixed immediately was lessened. So we left that vague because we wanted to allow for any kind of fluid custom options like this. So with all that said, one of the main improvements we've made recently for FTL is something called Nax. Nax are a technological function that's basically a negative acknowledgement. Whenever you have all these video frames that are being sent to us, whenever you lose them, whenever they're lost, the network loses them, your computer loses them, whatever happens, that's called a lost packet. And all Nax do is it allows your browser or the server to say, hey, I didn't get that packet, send it real quick, give it back to me real quick so I can show it to the user. And so what that means is that if you're having packet loss up to about 1%, which is pretty high, honestly, OBS in real time will be resending those packets to the viewer, so that way the video will be consistent. So it kind of smooths over issues that you'll have with packet loss, especially when it comes to FTL. And Nax also are what enable OBS to show you that you're losing packets, that you're dropping packets. And on our side, we can now see when packets are lost between you and the server, and then use that to help kind of us debug. So we're now at a point with FTL where it's much more stable. I know it's not perfect. I know there's still streamers out there who have issues, and we're definitely aware of those, and we want to implement RTMP to help resolve that. But this gets us really, really far, and so I'm really excited that we have it now. I've been watching a lot of streams, and it seems like streams are just kind of working now. And anytime there is packet loss, it's like someone unplugging their Ethernet cable and plugging it back in repeatedly while they're streaming, or it's just COD's internet or Sand Lord's internet. So, and we can't help them. So, all right. So that's kind of enough for tech. Actually, the person with the most packet loss is definitely SmashBets. SmashBets has the most packet loss on the platform. So I'll share that. And they spend a lot of time trying to not, but oh well. All right, I need a water break. Hold on. Oh God. No. Well, so Sainted Lord caught up really quickly because the other day apparently there was a giant tsunami of rain that came through. So that kind of ruined it for him. And then Art of COD apparently just likes to unplug his Ethernet while he starts to stream. So who knows? Yeah. SmashBatch currently streams at like potato resolution because if the resolution goes any higher, it just immediately starts losing it. Yeah. All right. So next we'll move up or we'll move on. I have to burp, so we're gonna hold on a second. Excuse me. Yes, I am a mere mortal. All right. So, okay, one thing to finish that up. We're actually really close with RTMP. In January, I was doing tests with it. Sorry. I was doing tests with it that were running for 24 hours without any issue. The audio is working great. The video is working great. But there's a couple of missing things. We have to re-implement some of the like metadata, some of the thumbnails, that kind of stuff. And then we also have to make sure it works for kind of all the conditions that we'll experience. And then once we have RTMP, that should be a really interesting new feature. Our RTMP is very different from others. It actually interacts directly with FTL. And so it is very fast. And since it is TCP, it does have better packet loss resilience. However, we still have to do kind of more testing around what kind of I lost my train of thought. But the packet loss that it can deal with is definitely more than FTL, but it's still not like perfect. And in dealing with packet loss, it has to introduce some kind of buffer to allow the kind of packets to be lost and then caught up after the fact. There shouldn't be any downtime when we release RTMP. We've engineered it in a way that it just acts as an ingest. So like, FTL is here and RTMP is here and they're parallel ingests. And they all kind of go to the same edge servers. So it shouldn't be any downtime. And if there are any issues with RTMP, it'll be isolated. So yeah, there's no emotes yet on the mobile app. It's hard to make that work. We'll get there. All right, so now really that wasn't our main announcement. We're excited to launch the mobile app. I think it's going to be kind of a key way to future usership, but it's not our main announcement for tonight. Our main announcement, what we're really going to be focusing on and hammering home is marketing, growth, advertising. I was trying to figure out a good word for it, but over the past year, we've been very focused on building, on developing, on code, on process, on people, on building the platform to make sure that it's stable, to make sure that it can exist. And we're not perfect. We're not done. We'll never be done. There's still issues. There's still features that are missing. There's all sorts of stuff. But we exist. People use us. 20,000 people every month visit us. 20,000 unique people visit us every month. Over 200 streamers call us their home, that stream at various times throughout the day, who have viewerships and communities of their own. Like, we're a platform, we exist, we're solid. And now, 2022, not for any specific reason, is now the time that we're going to shift that focus. We're going to start focusing on marketing, on advertising. And I've got a couple of different thoughts behind that, but really the growth of the platform is the next step for us. There's going to be a lot of people who won't want to move to us because we're missing certain features. That's okay. That's going to happen. That's going to happen no matter what. The good news is we could have feature parity with Twitch, and people would still need like one additional feature to move over. So we can't stop. We can't not market because of that. And I think now we're at a point where we have a good, robust set of features that clearly, 200 plus streamers choose every month to use. And if there's 200 streamers that choose to use us now, and 2,000 viewers that choose to use us now, then there's more out there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start focusing on that. We're going to start focusing on that growth. There's really two kind of major directions that we're going to be approaching this from. Advertising, like I said, and something called content marketing, which is really just kind of a different form of advertising. From the advertising perspective, we're going to be focused on kind of the product we've already built, what we already have today. What we already have today is an open, transparent, independently owned, open source, community-run platform that you can stream on, right? And it's got a certain subset of features, right? We've got a 60-40 split. We've got donations buttons that we get, you get basically 100% of the donation. We get zero of that. The payment processor gets whatever they charge. We've got a mobile app. We've got support buttons with additional ways of giving and supporting your favorite streamers. We've got FTL. We've got a real-time WebSocket API that developers can build things for. We've got all these features. So let's use those features to advertise directly to people who are looking for those features. And really what we want to do there is we want to make sure that we're sharing that message, that we have everything here and waiting and ready to go with different types of media that are really focused more on recurring mentions and views, as opposed to one little swipe in a feed. We're going to be sharing this message with podcasts, web shows, streamers, news outlets, all sorts of stuff. Anything that's like a permanent type of content. That's where we really want to focus on advertising. And I want to dive into that a little bit more. I feel like I kind of flipped over it very fast. But, there's no reason we can't buy Twitter ads or a TV ad or a Super Bowl ad or whatever it is. But I think the problem with those is that's not really what creates a strong business. I think that's what creates fast product traction. So if you advertise to the Super Bowl, you're advertising your product that you already have users for, you already have serious users for. And the same thing with Twitter. If you're advertising on Twitter, you're advertising a serious product that already has millions of users because you pay a lot. You pay a lot for Twitter. You'd pay a lot for a Super Bowl ad. And really the problem with us is since they've never heard about Glimesh, you're gonna scroll on your phone. You're gonna see a little pop up on Twitter for Glimesh, and you're gonna keep scrolling, and you'll never have heard about us. So you're never gonna think about us again, right? Whereas if you're scrolling and you see Coinbase because they just launched a Super Bowl ad, then of course you're gonna consider that because you already know about Coinbase. So what we want to do instead is find content creators, find podcasts, find newsletters, streamers, all sorts of things that we can use, that we can form relationships with, that we can buy ads on, that kind of create a more distinct and varied audience. And at the same time, that doesn't prevent us from advertising on Twitter or publishing things on Twitter. It's not going to be our advertising focus. And as far as who we're trying to target, really for me, I've kind of solidified on this idea that we absolutely want to make viewership the easiest possible thing to have happen. And that's why we focus on the mobile app. That's why we made registration so simple. That's why we made the site so fast to load. Is because as a viewer, you should be able to click on a stream and boom, there you go. Watch the stream, have fun. And so this is going to be controversial to say, but our advertising focus right now, especially, should be on streamers and their communities. And that's because the viewers will come with those streamers. And once we have, like, we've already seen with the site right now, we have not advertised for viewers at all. And the streamers that we have on the site have their own community, and then they start to grow a community here just by continuing to grow in other places. But the point being there is we want to advertise towards viewers. We want to get viewers on. We don't want to have a platform full of streamers, as people say. But guess what? It's one and the same. Your streamers are your viewers, you know, and the streamers themselves are going to grow on Glimesh, and that's going to help Glimesh grow. Viewers are so easy to get because a viewer is someone who just clicks on a stream and watches it, right? And if they like you and they like your content, they're going to come back. You know, that's it. Whereas getting a streamer to move on board is so much more difficult. You know, you have to have the right value proposition, you have to have the right technology, features, all that kind of stuff to kind of make that sale happen. So what we want to focus on here especially is growing our membership, growing our community to be large enough that viewers can find something to watch. You know, that's the number one complaint people have. Glimesh is dead. You know, I visited Glimesh at the 3 a.m. East Coast time, and there were only 2 people live. Yeah, there were only 2 people live because most of our audience is outside of those time zones. So we want to make sure that there's people live. That way, there's people to watch. And you know, I'm not saying that we're going to limit our marketing to streamers. What we're going to do is exactly what you said, is focus on really that whole content creator band, but then also kind of the more generic band of people who are interested in that. You know, I think the people who listen to podcasts about gaming, right, are going to be comprised of streamers, but they're also going to be comprised of people who watch video game streams. And so we're going to be targeting kind of them at the same time, where, you know, viewers, quote unquote, even though they don't exist, will be hearing about Glimesh, and we'll start to create that kind of buzz in their minds. They're going to you know, hear about Glimesh and see Glimesh and read about Glimesh, and it'll be one little tweet there and one little podcast newsletter there and one little thing there, and you know, all of a sudden we're building this kind of foundational brand. And honestly, Psychotic, we haven't. Like, the point has always been that we have to make the site ready for viewers, because if you come to the site and you visit a stream and it doesn't load, you're gonna leave and you're never gonna come back again unless someone has a compelling argument for you to come back. And that's the problem with targeting viewership. If we were to publish a Twitter ad for, let's say this, for example, Twitch, as one of their marketing campaigns, kind of piggybacked on the launch of Elden Ring to create an advertising campaign on both email, Twitter, Instagram, social media, everywhere. And they did it for Elden Ring. And they were able to do that because they knew they could guarantee the fact that they would have streamers streaming Elden Ring. Well, we could never do that because we cannot guarantee that there will be streams even live at the moment. So the concern was always, if we target viewers like that, if we send out a campaign like that, then we'd have to, like, you know, we'd have to have a contract with a streamer to say, like, hey, you need to be live between the hours of this and this, and we'll send you money or something, like, because there would be no way for us to guarantee that. So the problem has always been, you know, how do we grow kind of holistically? But I think now, to your point, we're kind of narrowing down. We're kind of narrowing down our focus. Yeah, I'll agree to disagree on that one, Psychotic. I don't want to. We can argue later. Not argue. We can discuss. It's fun. I would really love to continue talking about this. No, I agree. I just don't. I see what you're saying. I see your point. I think it's a misinterpretation. But yeah, like you said, we'll move on. Hey Jer, thanks. Yeah, Noah, that's gonna be far away. I'm sorry, that's gonna be a while. Everyone wants a console app. I definitely want you to have a console app. Maybe we can get like Chromecasting, you know, but Xbox app would be very yeah, very difficult. Yeah, I mean, and that's something I'm going to talk about in a second. Right before we jump into this next paragraph, uh, I want to call out that um, Glimesh is only what everyone has made of it. I think I made the name. Like I made the name and I registered the domain, and I put the concept out into the ether. And then as soon as people latched onto it, it's gone from me. Like Blemish is a combination of all of our efforts, and I think that that's what really makes us unique. Like these fucking glim drops. I had nothing to do with the glim drops. My artistic value, my artistic skills, you can find in the website, and that's why it looks like awful. That's about the most I can do, and this is basically copying a theme and modifying it a little bit. So, what I was going to talk about at the end here is that, like, we're a year in. We've had hundreds of contributors, people who wrote code, who made art, who made events, who made marketing campaigns, who helped us to a point of where we're at today. And I really appreciate that because it's really easy to kind of get disconnected. It's really easy to forget that. I work at other companies too. I've worked at other companies too, and it's like really hard to make sure that you're keeping in touch with your users. And Glimesh is such a unique opportunity because we're all users, and like we're all keeping in touch with each other. We're all building this thing together. So I'm super excited because of that. Like I think that that's our unique like superpower. Is that we are an independent streaming platform built by ourselves, by the streamers, by the viewers, by the users of the platform. So I want to thank everyone for taking us where we're at, taking us along this journey. Yeah. It's been fun. I'm not dying. It sounds like I'm dying or something. I'm not dying. It's fine. It's not guaranteed that I'm not going to die, but I'm not dying currently. Well, long term, but not short term. Yeah. Well, I just think it's interesting. I personally mention it because I get caught up in negativity, and it like destroys me. And the problem with that is there's so much positivity that I just need to pay more attention to. Like, yeah, and I know everyone has. I mean, what was that YouTuber's name? The one who did like crazy science stuff. I can't remember his name. He worked with Michael Reeves for a while, and he did a lot of science stuff on YouTube, and then he quit. He literally quit cold turkey. Yeah, William Osman. Yeah. He made great videos. He is so interesting, and like he had a great combination of like scientifically accurate and entertainment value. And he had millions of followers and millions of viewers, and was making literally millions of dollars off of this. But he could not get past the negative voices, and that's not to say that negative voices shouldn't exist. But I think that there's a very thin line between, actively having malice and criticism and feedback. And I think that like I need to differentiate the two better. That's one of my flaws is I need to make sure that I'm not thinking that criticism is malice or intended negativity. But at the same time, I need to just put out of my mind true, mean words or or malice. So anyways, my point there is that like there's so much positivity. There's so many streamers who use the platform. There's so many viewers who love the platform. There's so many people who visit us. That's all I'm going to focus on. That's all I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on people who want to use Glimesh, who want to be here, who want to help, who want to fix things. Nothing else. So, all right. So marketing, advertising. So we talked about kind of advertising. The kind of overall thought there was that we're going to be sharing messages that will continue to be shared. Not passerby or feed scroll ads, but specifically like, there's content creators on YouTube that publish videos about streaming hardware. Like, let's advertise, let's sponsor them, and help them make their content. Let's buy them new hardware that they can review and say, hey, this is sponsored by Glimesh or whatever. Like, let's create that content that like keeps on giving while helping people do what they love at the same time. Messages that people actually listen to. That's a great way of saying it. So that's what I want to focus on for advertising. It doesn't mean we won't do other stuff. It's good to try. It's good to do other stuff as well. But we're going to get to how you can help in a little bit. And then on the flip side, as part of advertising, right? We've always kind of had this fear of spending money. It's not a fear. It's just me. I'm awful at spending money. But we are now going to be budgeting a minimum spend of $2,000 a month. That is going to be singularly focused on the growth of our community. And I hate to say minimum. That's not going to apply for this month. I got to think about that first. Like, we have to have a plan first. But we want to spend. I just got a notification that I got a payment for Blizzard Entertainment, and I read like Blizzard's at like DQ. I thought it was ice cream. I thought my girlfriend got ice cream without me. I was very upset. Sorry, I was about to get triggered. Anyways, bringing us back. We're going to be spending a minimum amount on about $2,000 on growing our community. Now we're going to talk about financials in a minute. Let's break the barrier right now. We are currently not profitable. We are currently draining money every month. But I don't give a shit. I mean, I do give a shit, but boy, can you imagine that on the board meeting minutes? We are currently unprofitable, and I don't give a shit. No, I definitely care, but the problem with not being profitable is that we're not growing. Like, that's the problem. We're not going to milk our users for more than for more. The solution to more profit is to make more users. Have more users. So marketing spend is kind of that solution. Right now, we'll dive into this. We've got about $20,000 in the bank, and at $2,000 a month, we'll run through half of that runway in 5 months. So if we're 5 months in and we spend $2,000 a month on marketing of different types and we don't see results, okay, you can call me out then at that point, right? But we'll still have 10,000 to go. And again, as always, I'm in it for the long run. If Glimesh starts to need money to exist, I'm sure we'll all be able to figure out something. So don't worry about it shutting down. It's not going to happen. Spending $2,000 a month is not going to hurt us. If anything, I think it's going to help us a lot. And I'm excited for it. So now on the flip side, for content marketing, that's kind of another area of focus. And it's something that's very, very effective in the world. And it's already what we kind of want to support with the marketing. With the advertising. Exactly, Salrek. If we spend $2,000 a month, if we spend 10 grand on marketing on like tons of different types of campaigns, and we're not growing at all, like, okay, we need to have a serious discussion. Like, I got to pass the torch to someone else because I suck. That's what we'll kind of amount to at that point. So we're not going to worry about that for now. But for content marketing, getting back on the wagon here, I really want to start utilizing content that we produce, content that our community produces, content that we can start to share with the Glimesh brand and the Glimesh name on it. We have a email newsletter with 10,000 people in it ready to get an email, and we've never emailed them. We've never, ever, ever, ever emailed them. We've got 10,000 people who say, hey, I want to learn more. I want to learn more about Glimesh and streaming and hear more about the company. Never emailed them. So I really want to start focusing on building up blog posts and newsletters and video and streaming content that we can use to find, engage, and teach new audiences. We've got this education tab here at the top. Let's use it. We already do a really great job at publishing blog posts for meetings that we have and kind of events that we have. And I think that kind of content is really powerful. It gets out there, people hear about it, and I want to keep publishing content like that and other things. Tech blogs, streaming tips, all sorts of stuff. Whether it's content that we produce, that our community produces, that we pay for, whatever it is. We could even pay for a video or pay for an article, whatever it is, because that's part of marketing. That kind of content will drive up clicks, SEO, word of mouth. It's things that we can publish and get ahead of. You're not going to be successful publishing Glimesh on Reddit if you just post the homepage over and over again. They're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. But if you make a guide on how to configure OBS to take clips whenever someone types !clip in your chat, like boom, that's something you can post, right? And then you get something else, you post, boom. So the advertising portion is to take what we already have and share it. And the content marketing portion is to continue to build things that we can have, that we can share. So those kind of two combined help us at least have a strategy. Now there's going to be more than that. We're going to have other avenues for marketing and for advertising, but those are kind of like a good place to start. So it's not going to be easy to grow the platform. We know that, you know that, I know that. Growing your stream is hard enough. Growing like a business is hard enough. It's gonna be really hard to grow. But sorry, don't read that yet. I think I said that because the other day I was trying to figure out who works for Trovo, and I couldn't. Sorry, that's not appropriate. Let's we can move on. I couldn't figure out who their CEO was. I just want to say that. Does anyone know who Trovo's CEO is? Anyone? No? Okay. So companies since the beginning of time have kind of struggled with growing. Think about local businesses in town. Think about other companies you've heard of. It's really hard to grow. Most companies fail. They fail after the first year, or they fail X months after that. That's what happens. We're not going to fail like that. We're not just going to shut down. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. Shen, hold on. We'll get there after the recording. So we're going to have trouble growing, but I'm super excited. I think the marketing and advertising is going to be key. Of course it's key. But I think really, like I said a minute ago, our super weapon here, superpower is going to be the fact that we are built by us. We are us. We are we. It is us, the we. Everything that you see on Glimesh today was built with the community's help. All the marketing campaigns we've done before was built from the community. Every feature we've made is built from the community. And I think we're going to have such an interesting perspective on marketing and advertising that's going to be what really helps us kind of grow. And so I'm looking for help from everyone. We still have a lot of work to do on how the hell work works, how you help contribute to Glimesh. But if you have ideas, if you have things that you want to share, if you have campaigns that you want to do, if you have articles you want to write, if you have videos you want to produce, if you have some way of helping or you want to help in some way, we'd love your help. As always, Glimesh is an open company. It's built by all of us. I would love to have people help out. I would love to help you share your ideas. Really, the best way to do that right now is the Building Glimesh form. I know it's a little slower paced than Discord. It's not as fun to like type in. The problem with Discord is your ideas get lost. Everything gets lost. You know, it's like you go to bed and there's some idea there, and then by the time you wake up, that idea is so far off your screen you'll never find it again. Whereas Building Glimesh is a lot slower, and that's okay. That's how we have to operate now. We have to operate slower because these things need to take more time. So, yeah, if you want to help, that's how you can help. But if those things don't make sense to you, if you don't know how to do those things, that's perfectly fine too. You can support us by sharing content, which I know everyone already does, honestly. I'm sure, honestly, you could probably help Glimesh by sharing less, because then, you know, your audience wouldn't hate hearing about us as much. But you know, share Glimesh. If you've got money, look, I'm not afraid to ask. If you've got money, you can go click on your profile name and then click on upgrade. You can give us money every month. All that money is down below. We'll talk about how it's being spent. If you want to support us but you don't want to give us money, you know, donate to your favorite streamer, chat in some streams, subscribe to streamers, stream streamers, view to viewers. However you want to help, you can help. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. We're not gonna pay people to move. I don't know how that would work. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like the only thing I'd ever do is if someone gave us $5 million, I would just give. Hold on, let me do the math here. I would just give 1,000 streamers $5,000 to move. You know, like that's, don't give one streamer 10 million, you know, or 5 million. Give 1,000 streamers 5,000. Anyways, we're not gonna poach people. I think what we will start doing, is reaching out to streamers, reaching out to people, kind of cold calling, not necessarily to get them to move. I don't know if that's a good tactic, but to talk to them. You know, we talk a lot to our users that we have, but we need to continue to talk to users that we don't have to see what's important to them. You know, people don't know about us unless we tell them about us. So, and if they want to ignore us, they can ignore us. You know, it's not a big deal. Yeah, hear what they've heard, see if they've encountered anything that we need to like correct, or not correct, but like, you know. Yeah, exactly, Shen. Well, that's complicated too, because you don't want to like come into their place of work, you know, and interrupt their stream or anything like that. I think it's just a balance. You know, I think it also helps when it comes from a human versus like a salesperson or a company or something. All right. We're already 50 minutes in, and we're halfway done. So Banjax is going to grow the platform by getting strangers to sing about Glimesh during the crap game. One by one, we'll get them. That's all it takes. If everyone went out there and got people to sing about Glimesh tonight, we'd have at least 10 more users. Well, Psychotic, there's going to be some stuff missing, honestly. You'll see in a second. None of the financials are missing, but some of the metrics are missing. So I'm not really going to dive into that, all that stuff. So let's get into it. That way we can stop being big and ambiguous. So with a focus on growth, we're actually going to start keeping track of different social media metrics. Not even social media metrics, sorry, different metrics. We're actually going to be focusing less on social media metrics and more on product metrics, more about, you know, how many users are using us, how frequently they're leaving us, how often and for how long we keep them, and what kind of return on advertising we get whenever we push out campaigns. So if we're going to spend $2,000 a month, you know, there needs to be a certain threshold of new users or of users coming back to the platform that we get to justify that $2,000. So, we want to keep track of that kind of as a metric because we want to see that our campaigns are making a real difference in what's happening. I'm going to set up some kind of automated ways of doing that. I'm going to really start to expand the open data page as much as possible. So you can always come and see the metrics. Ideally, I'd figure out how to get like Stripe in there, but that's a little bit more complicated. Anytime the metrics can be automated, it's going to be a lot easier for me to prepare them. Psychotic, yeah, absolutely, hopefully. So let's dive into some metrics that we do have. I don't have any social media metrics on here. I can tell you the summary of all of them. We lost social media followers on every single platform, except for Reddit. So on Discord, we lost 1,000 people. On Twitter, we lost 300 followers in 3 months. And Facebook was like 1. I think actually Facebook grew. So it's irrelevant. I don't want to talk about it because that kind of shit stresses me out. I don't know why people stop following us. I can't answer that. I don't know who is unfollowing us. Clearly it no longer, pertains to what they care about, and that's fine. So what I'm going to focus on is growth. And social media follows are great to have, but we actually have a product now. So let's grow the product. Let's focus on the product. I know that social media is a fickle beast, and we want to keep posting on it, and we want to keep doing campaigns and focusing on it. But at the same time, for me, there was no benefit in tracking those numbers. You can actually use tools out there like Social Blade or whatever to track those numbers. So if those numbers matter to you, I would encourage you to use one of those tools. So that's what I think psychotic is like. That's just the net negative that we're seeing because we have no net positive. So anyways, here's a cool graph. This is our unique streamers and peak viewers metrics. We keep track of this. We've kept track of it since the beginning of time. It's actually on our open data page. This was since October. This is a week by week view. We're not growing. We're not growing. What's the inverse of the word grow? We're not. Is it die? We're not dying. Okay, we're not dying. We're not shrinking. I don't like shrink. We're not decaying. Hey, look, if we stagnate with no marketing effort whatsoever, that's not that bad. We're not deflating. The green graph here is peak viewers, and the blue one is unique streamers, and this is per week. So on a weekly basis, there's about 1,500, 2,000 viewers. Definitely more in February than December. December's Christmas. I think that's perfectly normal. And then the number of streamers we have come back on the platform is about 200, like I mentioned. And that seems to be a pretty consistent number. Now, I think another way to look at this metric would be with like what do they call that chart? Can't remember it, but it'd be interesting to look at this metric basically with another axis that is how long the streamer has been streaming on the platform or how many active weeks they've been streaming. Because the question you'd answer there is like, are these 200 new streamers every single week streaming, or are they 200 streamers that have streamed on us for 2 months on average? That's the kind of question you answer with that. It's not a Gantt chart. It's a cohort chart, I think. Either way, I'm not an expert. So I think this chart's great because it kind of shows you what's been happening. We certainly what you don't see in this chart is that it was like that. Like from March of last year, it was boo. But now, if I zoom in a little bit to kind of what Glimesh is as opposed to what we were, it's a very, it's kind of way more predictable as far as viewers and streamers go. And so now our metric is, how do we grow this number? How do we get more unique viewers, more peak viewers and more unique streamers month over month? Sorry, I'm fucking with shit. As far as website traffic goes, it's actually the same. Those are negative words. Plateaued. Plateaued assumes that there's we peaked and now it's flatlined, and then we're gonna just boom plummet. I don't like plateaued. Our website traffic has been extremely consistent. We're consistent, exactly. We did have a 16% dip in the year-to-date graph, which is this first one. You can see that 16% number here, but that's actually due to a singularity, which I thought was a cool word to use. A singularity that we had in December. We had some stream, can't comment to the legality of the content they were streaming, but there was some stream that peaked at, it was 400 times our regular traffic. So they kind of ruined our metrics on that one. But you can see here overall, it's kind of consistent. So that's for 3 months. Sorry, two full months. And then and like I said, 45,000 unique visitors for 2 months. That's about 20,000 each month. You can see here we kept true with that in February. We had 21,000. February was a shorter month, only 28 days. And the usership was kind of consistent. And then here's in a table form. You can see the peak here, but that's not normal traffic. So, any questions about these metrics so far before we jump into finances? Yeah, I think one thing that what we'd probably do instead of implementing mixed play is we'd probably implement a system closer to what Twitch has with their extensions that lets you add custom content to either your stream video or areas around, panels around your stream. Because then we could add soundboards from the community. The community could make a soundboard, and we wouldn't have to worry about developing all of that functionality. What do you mean normalizing? The y-axis? These are graphs I just get. I just get these graphs from Plausible. So yeah, you can use slabs. All right, so I'm going to move on here to finances. Like I said earlier, we're not profitable. Let's just all kind of call that out. This month we were really not profitable, but let's start at the top here. Can you still see that at this zoomed out level? Okay. So I've included 3 months of finances. Gross subscriptions, you can see everything's going down, so just put that in your mind already. Finances continue to go down. You can see here month over month we've less than we did the month before. We did have growth in November, but it kind of went back down in December. November was when we launched donations. So there was a peak of donations, and then it kind of settled back down. February was a shorter month, but that didn't really matter exactly. Most of our subscriptions were new at the beginning of the month anyway. You can see here, though, that we still had 1,800 in gross subscriptions. We paid out to streamers $736. We had $140 in charges, $15 in refunds. We had 2 cases of users who had no idea that they subscribed to someone on 12 months ago on this day, and so they had subscriptions running for months. So we refunded them 3 months of their subscription just to kind of make it right. FYI to everyone, most banks have an online portal. You can log in and make sure you're not subscribed to shit. I would really recommend that. I'm very, very observant of my bank account, and I think you should be too. So please do that. As far as merch goes, we had a T-shirt that was sold, actually 2 T-shirts. Also, yeah, we email you every month that your subscription renews, literally every single month. So please, if you don't want to be subscribed to Glimesh or any of our streamers, please check that, and you can unsubscribe. It's very easy. And if you figure out something that is wrong, let us know. We can make it right. We're just, our kind of company policy is just refund, because it's it's the right thing to do in most cases, but it's also way easier than having to worry about it. It's so much easier to click the refund button and not care, and not to worry about that anymore than it is to fight with the user about it. Nor is it the right thing to do. So yeah, the payments page lists if you have any active subscriptions, and then every single charge to your account, and then every single payment that you've gotten. Okay, so then on merch, we sold 2 T-shirts or something, but 2 T-shirts is not enough for us to make money. Shopify charges $30. These T-shirts were shipped places that were expensive, so we didn't make any money on that. When we do sell T-shirts on a regular basis, we do make money off of it, but it's not really a major profit builder. Nor is it really a major profit drainer. It's only $40, but whatever. On the infrastructure side, our bill is pretty much $1,300 a month. I added a new server last month, a new database server to handle things better. So I had to have 2 database servers running for most of February. So that's why the amount is more right now. That'll go back down next month. Vulture was a little bit more expensive. Actually, sorry, Vulture was more expensive last month. We went over on bandwidth, so we had to pay for the bandwidth charges, but it's now back down to 60. So you can see our total infrastructure cost was $1,597. As far as recurring services goes, we had about $278 in recurring services. Last month we paid for some domains. We renewed some domains, and we renewed a PO box as well, which is like $30 or something. And then this month we gave $407.68 to charity via one of our GCT members' charity streams that they were doing to support a nonprofit. So we gave and we matched for that. It was a fun thing to do, and I think we did a great job on that. And then as far as total income comes, it's $1,875. Total expenses was $3,459. And total profit was negative $1,584. Excuse me. I transferred money out of Stripe, which is normal. I just do that every couple months. So we had 283 in Stripe, and then checking had 19,000, which makes the total balance that we have 20,000. So even though we are unprofitable, we still have money in the bank. We still have $20,000. We've been hovering around $20,000 for a little while. There's just ebbs and flows of profitability or unprofitability. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. So to go back, we're going to fix profitability by focusing on growth. And it's going to cost us more in the short term to continue to build profit in the long term. The old adage is you got to spend money to make money. And that's going to be true for us as well. Not that we're trying to make money, but we're definitely not trying to not make money. So well, we burn all the money to keep warm with servers. So I think in the future too, what I'd really like to do is I'd like to get to a point where we budget out money for regular charity donations every month with Glimesh's money. So right now, that's not a great idea. Like we just do one-offs here and there. We try and support whatever we can. But in the future, when we have a really consistent income stream, I'd love to make sure that like a certain percentage of our money goes directly to charity, especially charities that really need it right now, with all of the events that are going on in the world. So, oh boy. Any questions on the finances? Yeah, again, I would like to be at a point where we're not losing money every month, but at the same time, like it was the right thing to do, and it was a lot of fun. And based on everything I've heard, it was actually for a hospital in the UK. And based on everything I heard, like they really deserve it. So, yeah. See, Banjax, the problem is I don't know what the words are. Like North Tees, is that related to Stockton on Tees? Stockton on Tees? What is an on Tees? If it's on a Tees. Yeah, yeah, North Tees. I think they have a longer name, but I mean besides the river T. So when we pushed the T into the river, you started renaming cities after that? Oh, sorry. I'm getting confused. Now we've got half of our GCT seems to be from the UK, so we like to mess with them. No offense intended to anyone. Stockton decides. So what's a river T? Okay. So no questions about finances? Okay, I'm gonna move on. So, in some news, now I want to remind everyone, the GCT Talks event is actually a much better source of features. Because what I do is I forget about everything that we launch, and so when it comes time to do the board meeting, I have no idea what we do here. So if you want to actually learn about Glimesh's new features, the GCT Talks is way better for that. We actually had one recently, precisely 1 week ago, that covered a bunch of new features, and by a bunch I mean 8, 4, 6, one of those. And you can check that out. There's a YouTube link. It is right here. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Boom. You can watch that. So make sure you check that out. It has all these nice people on it. Well, 4 nice people and 1 bit Tsurugi. So look at that face. Look at that face. You tell me you're nice? I scoured the whole video to find the one moment. So there's a lot of smiling, so I had to get past that and go to the frowny face. Yeah, bro is actually the only happy one. God, I keep playing with this. I've got Velcro. I keep playing with the Velcro. Sorry. So the other news, we actually hosted the first ever, because it's the first time it's been a birthday, Glimesh Birthday Bash. That was an event put on by our community team. They did all of the work as far as organizing and planning goes. And then they asked for help from the community to actually help stream some of the events. And it was a 4-day birthday bash. We had 9 unique streamers with over 25 different types of content, from like interactive video games to well, I guess they're all kind of interactive video games, but from like actual like FPSs to like those Jackbox games, all kinds of stuff like that. We had Hobbit adventures. We sent out millions of emails to everyone who was subscribed to the channel and had no regrets. And so it was really fun. And we all told we had about 222 unique visitors tune in throughout the 4-day event. The Hobbit stream actually had the lowest number of chat interactions. So I think the community said that was the boringest part of it. But we'll ignore that. So Or everyone was too busy running around being hobbits. I don't know which one it was. We also, like I said earlier, we have launched the mobile app to testers. We kind of invited everyone to come help test, and we sent out an invite to everyone who applied. We did close it for now. Since we are getting close to launch, it's going to stay closed. Mainly that's just because it's a lot of work to go in there and add everyone. So if you're nipping at the bud and you really need access, just send us a message or post in Discord and questions or something. We can get you added. It's just we already have 150 people in there testing. It's already enough to manage. So I don't want to open it back up to the whole world. But at the same time, like if you want to try it out, I don't want to hold you back. So yeah, so they're helping test. It is fully functional at the moment. It's limited in functionality, but it all does work. And then there are some bugs still, but we're going to be working on fixing those. And then once we release it, it's going to be, people are going to have issues as well. We're going to release it. I was joking about this earlier. We're going to release it out to the world, and then someone's going to try and run it on their smart fridge, and we're going to have to fix bugs. So we'll do that later this month. And then as kind of the last news here, we did launch channel hosting, NACs, additional payout countries. We now support I think it's 170 countries to pay out to, which is a lot. And we now support preemptively banning people from your channel. So you can ban them ahead of time. So yeah. Yeah, you really need the app for two main use cases. The first one is you're too lazy to open your computer or laptop or turn it on. And the other one is you're too scared to bring your gaming rig or laptop into the bathroom. So you need something more portable. And then there's Hela, who doesn't believe in computers and only uses his phone. But his phone is also a 9-inch, stylus-based phone. So it's really just a computer. Alrighty, so that is, I think, our board meeting. As always, if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask. We'd love to go in depth about anything. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and end the stream. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you have any kind of questions or you want to hang out, we're going to hang out in the stream for a little while, but we're going to end the recording. So thank you everyone who kind of showed up. Thank you everyone who watched this video later. If you're interested in Glimesh, check us out. We're glimesh.tv. If you can't spell it, put it in Google anyway, and it'll correct you, which is also a huge milestone. So thank you. See ya. Good luck. Good night.
Bye, YouTube.
Paco.